Okay, Sparky.
All right. So this week's tip of the week is kind of interesting little thing on corded versus cordless tools.
Uh-huh.
So it comes up often, people always asking your preference, and it's just kind of funny is it's really changed a lot. The answer used to be, when I started in the trades, there really weren't a lot of cordless tools.
Right.
Actually, there were none.
Yeah.
Hell, we didn't even have pneumatic nail guns when I was framing. I mean, that's why I have tendonitis and all that, because I'm used to swinging hammers.
Sure.
But even your drills, your lights, everything had cords.
Yep.
Right. You got to the job. First thing you did, string out the 100-footer, put your 4-way on there, and start going.
Yep. Exactly.
I think Ryobi was the first one to come out with that little cordless drill.
My first one was the Skill 12 volt, I think.
Okay. So they were small.
Yep.
They had very little torque.
Yep.
Batteries didn't last really that long.
Nope.
But they sold like hotcakes.
Yep.
I mean, they just sold like crazy. And I'll tell you what, I know guys that still have a couple of them that are 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Robos. I think my dad still has his 2 original ones, and they still work.
Wow.
Can't say that about the new products, but just you're not going to get that kind of time out of them. But I figure. But even later, when the kits came out, that would come out with you got a drill, maybe a 4-inch, 4 1/4-inch skill saw. You get the flashlight, a reciprocating saw, your charger, and 2 batteries.
Yep.
And it was like a $400 or $500 kit. And I had one of those at one point, and because I was a builder, whatever, I never found it worthwhile. It was really a waste of money in my eyes. But if you're a maintenance guy or like you for the services, things like that, they're awesome because then you don't have to go lugging all these heavy tools for a very small job. Right. So I think for maintenance guys and for service calls, they're awesome.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you're framing a house or whatever, I mean, you definitely want to, I would still stick with a corded skill saw, table saw, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's, when we're throwing up additions, we're doing a lot of heavy framing and stuff. Everything's still plugged in. We've got the cordless saw sitting there in case you need to make a quick cut. But if you're standing there cutting a bunch of 2x4s to length or, top and bottom plates or having to cut your rafters, you're doing that with a corded skill saw,
Right. Well, so with the advances in the battery technology and brushless electric motors, the new tools, I think they're up to 20 volts.
Uh-huh.
I know that DeWalt has a 20-volt series out now, but they're not only do they have plenty of torque to do the job, I mean, the batteries will last nearly all day.
Yep.
I know my Bosch, I could pop a battery in that thing and be running screws for 3 or 4 hours before it even starts slowing down, and it just blows my mind.
Yes. Yeah, the 18-volt.
The batteries recharge in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're never short. So.
Right. Well, and then DeWalt's even got they have a chop saw, a miter saw takes 2 of those 20-volt batteries.
Yeah.
And that's cordless, but that thing's got to weigh a ton. I can't imagine having to carry
and that's
that.
actually my next little ditty here is just that. It's for framing. I'd still prefer a corded skill saw, table saws, especially even miter boxes. And the reason being is obviously cutting a board, you think about the teeth on the blade, they're making contact with the wood, removing material.
Yep.
But you also have the curve, the width of that saw blade cut. The sides of that blade are rubbing on the board. And then if you're cutting on a bevel, say a miter box, now you've got extra drag.
Yep.
And those batteries just doesn't have the torque. It's just too much drag, and then you don't get very good clean cuts. So I still think certain tools should always remain corded, but if you're thinking about getting cordless tools, spend as much as you can, what you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
They always prefer 1/2-inch hammer drills.
Yep.
Because that way it's, they're a little more money, but now you can do whatever you want. I can't tell how many people I know, they have their cordless drill, but they need to drill into masonry. Like, well, I don't have the hammer drill, and all you're going to do is burn up a masonry bit.
Right.
So, but get the best you can afford, and you should be good for many, many years.
Yeah, and I think the drill's a good starting point. And, one thing is like when you start looking at cordless tools is look at the entire package that comes with it, the full array of all the tools that are coming with it, because over time you can build that collection then on that. But
they all have suites now.
Yeah.
18-volt suites, so you can anything from your hedge trimmer, leaf blower to,
yes.
Your reciprocating saw all takes the same battery now.
Right. So now look at that entire package of what and where you would think your entire cordless package would want to go, and make sure you're picking that line. You don't want to start with Milwaukee and then find out something. Oh, but they don't make that. But I can find it in Ryobi or I can find it in Bosch.
Right.
So if you know the where you're going, look at that entire package then, and then buy in that package, knowing where you're going to go from there. And the 18, 20-volt batteries are excellent today in the lithium ion.
Right.
Unbelievable. So
Yep.
there you go.
Boom, done.
Just like that. It's time for a break. We'll be back with hour 2 in about, what do you say, about 8 minutes there, Andrew? Okay. We'll be back right after this.
This is Mighty House. Mighty House will